Hello Vault Dwellers, and welcome back to another Fallout Cookbook cooking video. Today I'm going to be doing the chocolate chip cookie recipe from the Fallout Cookbook. So the ingredients we're going to need today are 3/4 cup of white sugar, 1/4 of a cup of brown sugar, 2 sticks of butter that have been softened to room temperature, and 1 room temperature egg. We're also going to need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1 teaspoon of almond extract, 2 cups of flour, a half of a cup of cocoa powder, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of white chocolate chips, and the recipe calls for an optional ingredient of dried cranberries. I'm not a huge fan of dried cranberries, but I do like the dried cherries, so that's what I'm going to go with today. So let me get all this stuff moved out of my way and bring my bowl over. And we will start dumping in the things we need to do first. A quick way to get your butter to room temperature is to take a cup, fill it with hot boiling water, let it sit for about 30 seconds, dump it out, and then invert the cup over your sticks of butter. In probably about 5-10 minutes, you should have room temperature butter. I wouldn't do that with the egg. It might start to slowly cook it. So my egg has just been sitting out here on the counter, but the butter I did do the quick softening method. That way you're not putting it in the microwave and taking the risk of melting it. So let me get these opened up and dumped in the bowl along with the brown sugar and white sugar. And let's see, our white sugar and our brown sugar. Alright, at this point I'm not going to add the egg or the extracts until I get this cream together. I'm going to move my mixer over here so it's a little bit closer to us, and then we can get that started. Remember to scrape down your bowl as you go. That way any sugar that's kind of not been incorporated will get off the side of the bowl and get mixed. Okay, at this point we can go ahead and add our extracts. And we can crack our egg in. I don't like to crack my eggs on the side of the bowl because I don't want to take the chance of getting any eggshell in there. So that's why I always crack mine on the countertop. What did I do with... There we go. And I'll get this mixed in. Alright, I've got everything thoroughly mixed in. I've scraped my bowl down a couple of times just to make sure everything is well incorporated. At this point we want to combine the cocoa powder and the flour, as well as the baking soda and the salt. You want to make sure you get these stirred in really well now, so that when they go into your creamed butter and sugar, that they'll incorporate evenly, and that way you'll have, you know, the salt and the baking powder, or baking soda, I'm sorry, mixed well. The easiest way I've found to actually get the powdered ingredients into here without making a huge mess is to put it on wax paper and then kind of pour it in that way. It kind of goes in a lot better. You might have to do this in stages, and plus it gives you a chance to make sure your powder or your flour is fully incorporated in. I also want to start my mixer before I start adding my flour. I want to have it on a low setting, and then you can slowly increase the power as you need it. And that way I don't get flour all over the outside of my mixer as well, or at least not as much. At this point, I've taken it off of the mixing stand, and I'm just going to go through, give it a quick little stir. A little bit of the butter didn't get mixed in from the beater. And I want to make sure that everything got incorporated from the bottom of the bowl. Sometimes the beater doesn't go down far enough, and it leaves like a little bit of dried flour at the bottom. You just want to make sure you get all that out. So that looks good. And now we're just going to dump in our chocolate chips and the dried cherries. And I like to stir these in by hand. I think they get stirred in a little bit better, and then they don't get broken up, because sometimes the mixer blade likes to break up your chocolate chip pieces. Alright, at this point I've got my dough transferred into a little bit smaller of a bowl. I'm just going to cover these up. You could certainly leave it in the mixing bowl if you want, but I'm going to cover it up with cling film, stick it in my refrigerator for a couple of hours or overnight if you are mixing this up the day before. And I'll bring you back when it's time to turn them into cookies. Alright guys, I let the cookie dough set up in the refrigerator for a couple of hours. And I just used a cookie scoop to portion these out so that they're basically all the same size. And just rolled them into little balls. And I'm setting them, I don't know, a good inch and a half apart on a parchment lined cookie sheet. These will go into the oven for 10 to 15 minutes, and I will rotate them about halfway through on 350 degrees. So let me get these baked up for you. Alright guys, I have let these bake for about 14 and a half minutes, and I did rotate them about halfway through on the cooking time just to ensure that they baked evenly. And then when I pulled them out of the oven, I let them sit for about a half of a minute on the tray just to finish crisping up the bottom without over baking the tops before I transferred them over to a wire rack to cool. And then over to the plate. They turned out really good. They are nice and crispy on the bottom, yet still chewy on top. So if you like a crispy, chewy cookie, these are perfect. I think these have become my new favorite chocolate chip cookie, and I will most certainly be making these again. If you'd like to see a version of this done without the optional dried fruit ingredient, go and check out Fantasy Kitchen's video over on the Gamers and Geeks playlist. She did an amazing job with it, and I highly recommend you guys go and check her version out as well. Speaking of the Gamers and Geeks playlist, it is a community-driven playlist that Japika Death and I have going on in our channels. If you'd like to become a part of that, remember, all you have to do is go out and make a cooking video, show us what you like to make for your friends and family. Post it to your channel and then let us know about it, and we will be more than happy to come over, take a look at it, and get it added to the playlist. If you guys tried this recipe out, let me know how it turned out for you in the comments section below. If you guys tried this recipe out, leave me a comment down below and let me know how it turned out for you. But for now, thank you for joining me. I've been Vault Girl. I hope you guys have enjoyed, and I hope I see you in the next one.